Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Before we get started, first of all, I owe, and if I pronounce the name wrong, I'm sorry, Joanna Lewis an apology. I was meant to talk about a clip that I received, and I said it was the wrong, I said the person who gave it to me was Shakira, but it wasn't. It was Joanna, and so I want to apologize for that. And I also want to say thank you for giving me the clip. I think I was sitting there talking about everyone's deaths, the Salem killer or whatever at the time that turned out to be Marlena, I think. But yeah, I just want to kind of clarify that. And thank you for watching, and Joanna, and thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. This episode, it has some really funny parts, and then I don't know. All right, here's what I have an issue with. So, Abe goes to the afterlife to I guess see his deceased wife. I had a couple issues with that as well. One of those being was like, alright, they couldn't just get like a stand-in for like a day. We just had to sit there and just constantly see the back of this woman's head. Like, why? I didn't really understand that. I really didn't. On the bright side, it was really cool seeing old school Abe. Oh my goodness. That mustache, like he had that 80s look down packed, and I loved it. Watching him go through memory lane was like, oh, okay, alright. Like, it was kind of cool because I wasn't there for the younger parts of Abe. So that was cool, learning a little bit of history about him and his wife and how they were trying to conceive, and then their ups and downs and stuff like that. So that stuff was cool. What I had issue with was that there was one point where, everyone was up waiting outside. You got Eli, you got Lonnie, you got Paulina, and I think at some point you got, no, you just got the three of them. So Eli is like, listen, first of all, he has to sit there and try to calm down Paulina, which is just making things worse. He's like, no, screw it. I'm going there. I'm going to find out what's going on. This guy literally goes into the OR. And at this point, Abe flatlined. So he flatlined. And, she just kind of stands there for a good minute. And Eli's like, what's going on? And, this is when Kayla's like, well, we lost him. He's gone. And Eli's like, well, can't you do something? And that's when she's like, oh, okay. I think there's something I can try. And then she starts, doing chest compressions and stuff like that. Now, at this point, I'm just like, wait. Let me get this straight. This guy just flatlined. And you was like, alright, we called it. Guy comes into the room. Well, can't you do something else? Can I do something else? Can I do... You know what? You're right. I think I can actually do something else. I am so glad you just burst into his room unannounced, because I was just pretty much just going to call it a wrap. And I think that's what I got just kind of irked about. Like, if you didn't walk in there, you would have been like, well, he's gone. That would have been about it. Like, and literally, it's because she kept doing that for as long as she did, is that he eventually woke up. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, so I guess that didn't happen, then, yep. Now, a lot of people are sitting there saying that Abe is going to live. I looked at the previews, I was like, I don't know, because sometimes they can kill characters off. I mean, the guy's been on there for, like, 40 years, so, and then, I saw him go to Africa, I was like, I don't know, and so I was kind of 50-50 on it. Where it was like, alright, he was gone for, like, 36 minutes. because that's how long the episode was. And so watching it, I'm just like, it was. Here's the thing, it was good as a tribute episode. To some extent, kind of showing the highlights of him and his wife and stuff like that. But I felt like it could have been better than what it was. I know there was certain, maybe for me, because there were certain things that I didn't understand. Like, there was 1 minute, they were happy they were going to get a child. Next minute, she must have lied about something. So, maybe it actually was good, and I just didn't get it because, I don't know the history. So, I guess in that sense, then it was good. Like it was decent, but I could be wrong. Especially if you watch the show for a long time and you saw that tribute. It'd be the same thing for me if I watched General Hospital and I saw a tribute to, I don't know, a character that's leaving. For me, I'd be happy, but for somebody who's just walking in, I'd be like, I don't know, it could have been better. So, yeah. So yeah, 8 lives, and that ends that. I guess they don't have to sit there and call Theo. Because it was all like, oh, our sweet boy Theo, he's so kind and sweet, and I'm like, you know what, you're his parent, so I guess you gotta kind of say that. So, alright, cool. Yeah, he lives, so that's cool. You got Julie that was talking to Paulina. And, they kind of bonded and became, like, more friends and stuff like that. So, now they're officially good. Okay. Possessed Marlena versus John Black. Now, I'm not going to lie. There was one part in there that I think even if I would have watched in the daytime, it honestly would have just creeped me out. The whole cross being, not the way it's supposed to be. I was just like, not gonna lie, it's getting a little kind of uncomfortable. But then, Possessed Marlena tells John about the plans, and I don't know why Possessed Marlena was being so chatty, but okay, sure. So, after the normal stuff that didn't work, like holy water and, whatever, I guess John was going to sit there and start reciting some stuff, but of course, Possessed Marlena was like, hey, listen, if you try anything, I'm gonna kill your wife. That's going to happen. Now, technically, I'm stuck to thinking, well, if you did that, would your plan still work? Then again, guess it would. You could just jump into somebody else. So John didn't want to take the chance, so he was like, alright, breathe easy. You good. So, she starts talking about Doug and why she had to silence Doug, and, you should have believed him, but you didn't, and, just going through pretty much his whole plans. And then the fun starts. I mean, just after the teleporting here and there and everything like that, so I was like, alright, that's... I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I partly was like, John, why are you so surprised that she can teleport now? Like, out of all the things that she could have done before, and now you're just like, you're behind me. It's just like, come on now. Come on. Like, really. But then, Possessed Marlena starts beating the living life out of John, and oh man, was that so funny. I'm not gonna lie. There's one part where I guess, she pulls John close, and then John just kind of stands there and does this, I don't know what kind of acting he was doing, but he was doing something. She pulled him close, and she smacks him. She doesn't back, but she hits him. She hits him into the wall, and, he bounces on the ground, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is so funny. Because it's so cheesy that you just have to laugh. You gotta, even for a story like this that, I'm not gonna lie, kind of generally creeps me out, I did a lot more laughing than I should have done. Like, So it was funny, alright? And, you know, of course, this is how she silences, John. And there was one point, you know, because Marlene does kind of wake up a little bit, and, you know, possessed Marlene's about to sit there and kill John. But Marlena fights hard enough so that way, you know, it's like, alright, fine. I'm not gonna kill him. I mean, he can actually be kind of useful to me, so I can't actually just leave him here on the floor like this. So, you know, she starts dragging John away somewhere, so, you know, John can go on a nice little vacation, or whatever the actor's name is. He can go on a nice little vacation for a little bit, take some R&R, you know, a couple of days off. Let's be honest, the guy's been on there for, well, probably longer than I was born. Okay? I think he was on there longer than I was born. So, oh, nice vacation, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's pretty much about it. Like I said, this episode was average. I mean, you know, he flatlined and he came back in the same episode, so it was like, alright, all this tension, man, and, you know, it's gonna be so crazy throughout the week. No, he's only gone for like a half an hour. He's coming right back. Oh, okay, alright. That's fine, I guess. But of course, you know, possessing Marlena and John was the best part of this episode. And if it wasn't for the creepy eyes and the thing that, you know, he did to the cross, I probably would have laughed a lot more. But, actually, now I sit there and think about it, it's like, the fact that I laughed at all in this episode just proved how good it was. So, it wasn't terrible, it could have been better, but I think it was more comedic to me than anything else. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. See you in the next video.